Well, hello, beautiful people, and happy 2021. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. Hello, hello, hello. I thank each and every one of you for joining us on today, Wednesday, January the 6th. 2021 for another segment of Success in Motion, where we discuss topics that will inspire, empower, and promote to catapult you to the next level in your life. Yes, I am so thankful that you all have decided to join us this evening. Me and my co-host, Mr. Robert Gaines III. Give a shout out, Robert. Say hello to your fans, your audience. Hey.
What's happening, Success in Motion? We back at it, 2021, y'all. Hey, it's going to be a hot year for you. We starting this year off right. Nicole's got a topic that's going to set you on fire. It's going to set you right, and it's going to get you together. Your 2021 is going to fly by in order after today, baby.
Yes, 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 yes. So, I just want to thank all of you all, listeners, viewers who have been trekking with me and Success in Motion since 2017. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's progressing, it's building, it's flourishing. And I mean, when you do something, you first have to be the first partaker of it, right? Because if you're not the first partaker of it, then how can you, share it with other people? And, how can you become a subject matter expert or professional or expertise, an expert in whatever your field is, unless definitely you are tried first, right? Anyway, so today I want to, we're going to talk about time management. And yes, and that's so interesting because I'm sharing this real quickly. A friend of mine said, you say you know a lot. And I'm like, I do. I sure do. And it's a habit that I'm really trying to break. So I ask that you all bear with me and please continue to be with us. And share, and like. Anyway, so time management, because time is truly of the essence. As we have exited 2020 and the coronavirus pandemic, the world was put in a place to where everyone had downtime, everyone was at a pause, a standstill, a stop. Self-reflection, get yourself together, get your life, get your family, get your purpose, all of those things, get it together and get it right. We all had that opportunity. There were a lot of people, and I always make it personal, a lot of us did take out the time to do self-reflection, to work on business endeavors, career, invest in yourself, read books. But we also took out some time to watch some Netflix shows, episodes, whole seasons, more than one season. Greenleaf, I watched, the fourth episode in the beginning. I was just like, my goodness, I just really liked Greenleaf. It was really interesting to me. Anyway, but whatever your downtime was, but that also, as I mentioned, was the time to get yourself together so that you could be propelled and catapulted into your purpose and destiny for 2021. We understand time, and I'm speaking to the choir. For those of you who've already mastered time management, you don't have a problem with getting tasks done and, setting goals and actually finishing them and accomplishing them. But for those of us because I gotta tell on myself, I know I get things done, but I've been getting things done on my own time frame, if you will. What's important to me, or when things are important to me, may be most important to someone else. However, I don't hinder anyone else's process. But when it comes to myself, it's like, ooh, okay, procrastination, sometimes waiting to the last minute and things of that nature. And those are things that I have done. So, people want to make New Year resolutions. But my charge to you is to take one step, one goal at a time, and master that. And let your first task or goal be to manage your time. Robert, before I delve into the other parts of our program for today, I want you to, just piggyback on that and explain, briefly about time and how important it is to you and the things that you endeavor to do this year that will set you up for the years to come.
Thank you very much. Talking about time is a big deal. I mean, the name of the show that I host is Past, Present, and Possibilities. That's all about time. And every situation in your life has a past, present, and possibility. It had to start somewhere. It had to start as a seed that was planted. And it might have grown up really quick like bamboo. Bamboo sits for 4 years before it starts to grow. Then it starts to grow at a rate of like 2 feet a day. And it's extremely impressive to sit there and think that you're watching a plant growing at 2 feet every day. And then what do you do with it once it's grown? And bamboo has a ton of usage, and I'm guessing that it depends on which day you decide to cut it down, or whatever you decide to do with it determines how you can use it. I'm not sure. I was just impressed with the timing of bamboo. But if you treated your life like bamboo, the projects and the various things that you're working on all of a sudden become a labor of love to a life of love to a possibility of love. And those things are simply the steps to everything. We sit there and we want to procrastinate on Project A, not realizing that Project A is indirectly connected to Project Q that we didn't even know we had going on. We had plans A, B, and C when we started. And we was like, all right, Project A is going to be me getting my driver's license at, 15 and a half. Project B is going to be me graduating high school with a 3.7 or higher. And Project C is me applying and getting accepted to the university of my choice. And all of a sudden, here it is. Those three things have come about. But instead of getting my driver's license at 15, I only took the courses, or the first segment of the courses, and I never finished it. Here it is. I'm a year and a half out of high school. I'm into the college of choice, and there's a great mass transit system, so I don't even need to learn how to drive. It would have been a waste of money. But all of a sudden, I have a job opportunity or an intern opportunity that could set up my future. That became letter Q. And now, because I didn't do step A through totality, and I procrastinated and I waited, and I like it's not needed, the truth became that I do need it, and I have to set myself up to be in position now to go and finalize what I should have done, 2.5, 3 years ago. So the projects for me that I have coming up is to not procrastinate, but to excel. I want to step on the gas a little bit more. I still want to take the opportunities to stop and smell the roses so that I can appreciate the journey. But I have to make sure that I swiftly take care of my journeys because opportunities are coming up left and right. And I don't want to take all of them, but I don't want to miss out on the right ones that are going to continuously set us up for success.
That was so on point. Not wanting to miss out on the things that are going to set you up for success. That is extremely important. Very important. I'm going to read two scriptures that I believe are befitting for talking about time and how, the cause and effect of whether you take hold of time and the opportunities that present themselves, or if you waste time, procrastinate, be lazy and just, oh, I'll get to it, yeah, I'll get to it. And I'll say this, and I know, Robert, you can attest to this, but, I mentioned in one of the episodes last year how, I was taking this class, and I say things, I repeat things for a reason, because it's extremely important to understand the cause and the effect of the choices that we make and how it can affect our future, just as Robert said. So because of me not taking out the time to finish a course within a certain period of time, it caused me to have to pay for it later. And although I was extended the time through God's grace and mercy, Robert, you know, but because of his grace and his, oh my goodness, his grace and his mercy, God, he redeemed the time. I believe that God does redeem time. And because of his grace and mercy, that he will allow us to continue a thing. But the lesson in that thing is, don't waste your time. Because what could have happened that did not happen only because of God's grace and mercy could have been a disaster. And just with thinking of what the because there was a consequence. There was a $950 consequence. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? That was free initially. So what I'm saying is that to pay attention and to get serious, not only about your time, but the time of other people, So I'm going to read these scriptures real quickly. So in Proverbs chapter 10, verses 4, it says, he becometh poor that deals with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. Still talking about time. And then Proverbs 20 and verse 13, hold on. It says, Proverbs 20 and 13, it says, and this I think is more befitting also. It says, love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. So don't become so complacent and in a place where you think, I got time. I'm all right. It's going to be there tomorrow. Matter of fact, you know what? I already know I got the hookup because I'm cool with, Mr. Robinson or Miss Jackson. You know what I'm saying? They already know what I'm about. They already know my capabilities. They know my abilities, my skills. They know the talents that I possess. They already know. They told me they was holding that for me, so I'm good. Well, don't you think you should reach out to them and call them and let them know, what's going on, and just, to make sure that that opportunity is still available to you? I'm straight. I'm good. I'm going to watch this full episode on Netflix And, because I'm chilling. I need to rest my mind. I need to, just rest real good. Okay. So, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Johnson, they've been waiting for you because they've presented this opportunity to you. They've been waiting for you to reach out to them about this amazing opportunity. But because you decided to wait 2 weeks to reach out to them, you missed that opportunity because, you wanted to, I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to just chill out. I'm going to stay in the bed all day today. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like it today, And I have felt like this, not in a depressed state, but just, want to chill. Like, I don't feel like it. I want my mind to be at peace. I want to just rest. I'm not going to worry about this today, and you just don't know what you're missing when you're not focused on those things that you should be focused on. So, Robert, in regards to this, I want you to, if you don't mind, just share an example of a time where you were like, I'm good, I got time, I'm straight, and then missed an opportunity, because of you being straight. You know what I'm saying? If you will.
So I'll give it to you differently, and I hope that it makes sense and it impacts more. For those of us that are parents or caring adults of our students, be it a niece, nephew, cousin, brother, sister, or our own biological children, we say, oh, it's okay that you don't know how to read. You'll figure it out. You're smart enough to do this, 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 and this. And we let them go through life at a subpar level of reading ability or reading level. And now here it is. They're in, we saw this issue arising in 3rd grade. Here it is. They're a freshman in high school, and they're this outstanding athlete. And they can do all of these wonderful, amazing things on the court. And they're approached with an opportunity to consider a university that they thought was out of their league. They knew they were good, but as a freshman in high school, they didn't expect such universities to come and find them already. And now, here it is, they have to read a college application and have fairly reasonable language skills or communication skills without the extra phonics or the extra, I just want to go to college, man, and give me an education, because I just need a job when I get done. I'm a hooper. That's what I do. That's why you're here talking to me. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. We happy that you and the boys can have a conversation, understand each other, but can you also do business? See, because you can be chilled and relaxed, but because as adults, we didn't take the time to invest in that child when it was needed. Now they're on an emergency track to try to figure out how to read Romeo and Juliet. Because Shakespeare doesn't talk as plain English as you and I. He talks plain English as to when he was writing such great writings. And now it has come to the point of where it is necessary for them to do whatever it is that they're trying to do to be this successful athlete. But before you're an athlete, you have to be a student. And so to every coach, to every aunt, uncle, godparent, mother, father, sibling, it's important that we take the time in the beginning to care for the kids and help them to realize their dreams. And yes, it's difficult to explain to them why, but at some point in time they will see it and they will be thankful. And so the possibilities of us getting to doing things in a timely fashion allows us to set up other opportunities that we didn't see coming, because this student athlete, whoever she is or whoever he is, could have been in the 6th grade spelling bee and had a local community organization give a $500 college scholarship because they had a spelling bee that they won. But because we didn't teach them how to read in 3rd grade, the spelling bee was out the question because they could barely say the words that were placed before them in a regular textbook. So, to the point of what you're saying, procrastinating in some areas will allow you to miss multiple opportunities until it's corrected. And God's grace and mercy is more than capable of putting you in places that you missed early on. And they may not come back the same way, but it'll be close, if not better, because you decided to change what you missed. And so, all of that being said, to simply say, it's important that we take the time when the time is presented to us to do what we're supposed to do. Don't wait to finish your class that is self-paced. Don't wait to start school when somebody said, hey, go ahead and go to school. They didn't tell you they was giving you a check, but they told you to go. So all you have to do is apply and start. And make sure that everybody was aware, hey, I love y'all dearly, but I got to handle my business in school. You know, that first payment is due in 2 weeks, and if I don't keep an A in this class, then I might not be able to write to the people I need to get the money for it. And understanding that you are important, but your importance to yourself is also your importance to your community. So that is a scenario that I hope that everybody can understand, that, you know, it's not all about you and your timing as much as it is about making sure we are on time for those around us, our ability to be accountable. Because you see somebody pushing to do great things, you don't want them to fall short or fall victim because they were short.
That's good. And just not wanting people to fall short, so, and helping and being accountable. So, you know, you know. Anyway, we want to make sure that we hold ourselves accountable for the things that we do or the lack thereof. But yet, Robert, as you mentioned, when there is someone else who is struggling or needs an extra push, needs some help to push them into where they need to go, to help to keep them motivated. And I say that we can't motivate one another, but we can empower, we can inspire, we can encourage. But self-motivation is what helps to drive a person to do what they need to do, accomplish what they need to accomplish, and to fulfill, their desires. So I think of, too, being disciplined. We have to not allow distractions to get in the way. And I am reminded of one of my church members years ago. She gave a message about the fragments. And she was talking about how the fragments that we have, so we get caught up in social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, just being online, period, get caught up in emails. That's one of the, I mean, like, all these emails. And a lot of them are informational emails, but some of them, I'm like, my gosh, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, I started unsubscribing and stuff. I'm like, I don't even know when the next time I'm going to purchase something from this company, and I really don't need anything at this point from them. You know what I'm saying? So just being mindful and not cluttering ourselves, our minds, and our lives with unnecessary things, and learning how to be more disciplined and not impulsive, if you will, but yet not allowing ourselves to be distracted. So a lot of distractions come, and I noticed that, and I was talking to a good girlfriend of mine earlier today too, that, a lot of times distractions come when you're like right at that moment where you're about to just take off. And it's like, this is so interesting because a good friend of mine, he was telling me a while ago about one of his daughters. And he said they were playing basketball one day and she saw, I think, a butterfly. And instead of her going up to make that shot, she was like, "Ooh, a butterfly," you know. I was like, that's, you know, that's like me in that regard, like, "Oh, a butterfly," because I'm intrigued by them. They're so pretty, and, you know, the whole process of how they become a butterfly and all that stuff. Anyway, but things that catch your attention that you may not even be interested in, but it's a distraction. It comes to distract you, and it may come dressed in a beautiful package. You know, it may sound good, look good. You're like, ooh, and you could have a deadline and be working on a project, and it's like it's due like in an hour, and literally you done took 15 minutes or 30 minutes to do something else that had nothing to do with this deadline that you have for this project. And so you wasted time. And, you know, I did mention earlier that God is a redeemer of time, and he is. But sometimes you just can't get back. So the things that you wish you could have done, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this, but instead you do the total opposite, and you lose track and you lose focus. And, you know, my goodness, if you're on social media and you're watching other people, oh my gosh, how devastating is that for those of you who are caught up in other people's lives, you know, and how, you know, you compare yourself to other people and you're like, oh my gosh, they're soaring and I'm still in this place. And then you're trying to figure out, well, what am I supposed to be doing? Well, if you pay attention and stop allowing yourself to become distracted, you already know what you're supposed to be doing. But you're wasting time with distractions. Go ahead, Robert.
You know, it's really a matter of waking up and understanding, or as I like to say, knowing thyself. You know, when we're dealing with time and the way that we are to use it or abuse it, it's all in our own hands. And we have to know ourselves. So, you know, for somebody who may enjoy video games, you know, you get on there and you're like, oh, let me just play this one, let me just play this for 2 minutes. And it's like, you know, it turns into a 5-minute thing. But then in that 5 minutes, you're like, you know what, I'll just do that later. And then you on it for 2 hours. You know, you've lost time. You know who you are. When you know yourself, you know that that 2 minutes of video game playing is going to lead you into a position of forgetting about, procrastinating, putting off, or totally missing the opportunity to continue on what you're supposed to be doing because you needed a 2-minute break. Your 2-minute break should have been, all right, you know, let me actually try to go to the bathroom, and then I'll go get me some water. You know, maybe I'll make me a quick peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something. I don't find none of that overly exciting, you know, but it's enough to distract me from what I'm doing and allow me to get back to it. You know, then you have the opportunities to where, oh, that's a great idea. I won't get stuck doing that. Let me do one Sudoku puzzle. It doesn't matter how long it takes. I have the time to do it. But once I'm done with this puzzle, whether I give up on it or whether I complete it, I'm going right back to this task. And that way, whatever it is you're working on, you know, you have to know yourself to know the time management in which you can do. You know, and we are easily distracted, very much like squirrels. You know, oh, there's a sound. Oh, we're going to run over here. Nope, we're going to run back this way. You know, and in a heartbeat, you've forgotten what direction you were heading in. But when you made your decision, it wasn't in the direction that you were supposed to be going in the first place. And if it is, you're going, and it's like, why did I walk in the kitchen? Oh, that's right. I was supposed to be getting me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and maybe a glass of milk. But instead, I grab cookies and a bottle of water because I'm bored and I just don't know what else to do. And so your train of thought and knowing who you are and what will sway your mindset and your thought process all deals with the time in which you are putting in. When we look to organize our lives, when we look to set things up to move forward, it truly is a balance of what it is we're trying to achieve. How does it impact us successfully, and how does it allow us to move forward and impact others positively? Or if we're helping somebody else out, how do we pick up the phone and say, you know, I'm going to call these 10 people every month? That doesn't mean you're going to pick up the phone and call all 10 of them at the same time. But taking that time out with those people, cultivate those relationships that somewhere along the way in time will give you access to things that you didn't even imagine because you didn't realize that they were going places. But your checking on them gave them the impact to change their lives. And so that time became more than well worth the way it was spent. And it also allowed you to be successful in some way, shape, or form that you didn't expect. And that's the thing about doing things in a timely fashion, is it sets you up, again, for the opportunities. So to know yourself and not be distracted and continue to stay on message of moving forward is always key.
That is so true. As you say, Robert, know thyself. Know thyself, you know. And I mean, I could say, okay, well, at whatever age you are, you should know yourself by now, you know, but not a lot of people take out the time to figure out who they are and to actually acknowledge it. Because a lot of times we, you know, oh, I'm not like that. And people will call you out. They will tell you about yourself if they, whether they really love you and trying to help you or not. Because some people, they'll be like, I'm out of your mess. This is how you are. This is what you've done. And that's just what it is. And, you know, the truth does hurt. But it definitely shall make you free. And when you go back and start thinking about that, whatever it was that they've said that you've not done right, or, you know, the behavior that you've been displaying, and you realize, like, okay, wow, you know, I had one of those moments yesterday, and I was just sitting down and I just started thinking about some things over my life, and, you know, I was like, oh. And so that's where the time came from, you know, because it's like, you know, again, we're all given the same amount of time in the day, you know. And that used to bother me when people would say that, because, you know, when you make excuses for not doing certain things, and not for the valid excuses, but the excuses that you make because of fear, the excuses that you make because you don't believe in yourself, the excuses that you make because you're thinking about what somebody else is going to say, or what they're going to think about what it is that you have been contemplating doing, or what you said you were going to say. You know, a lot of those things play a part in, you know, your time, you know, because that can prevent you from going forward. And while I'm in that place, I want to read, and I know it's given me a lot of verses, but so Matthew chapter 25, it speaks about the parable, the talents, okay? And so 25 verse 14, it says, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Verse 16 says, then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. Verse 17, and likewise he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that hath received one went and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants came and reckoned with them. And so he that had received the 5 talents came and was like, hey, got these 5 talents, but I've increased it. I invested it, And he came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, thou delivered unto me 5. Behold, I gained besides them 5 talents more. 21 says, his Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Verse 22 says, he also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou delivered unto me 2 talents. Behold, I gained 2 other talents besides them. 23, verse 23, he said, his Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Verse 24 then says, then he that had received 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that you are a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not strung. And I was afraid, and went and hid the talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine, just the one. And his Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, you knew that I reap where I don't sow, and I gather where I have not strung. Thou ought therefore have to put your money into exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own usury. Take therefore the talent from that person, and give it unto him which hath the 10 talents. And verse 29 says, for unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance, but from him that hath not shall be taken away, even that which he hath. Anyway, so your time is precious. Cultivating the gifts, the purpose that God has for you, and making sure that you're using your time very wisely so that you don't lose, you don't miss out, you don't abort, in a sense, your purpose, and your assignment, because of being slothful, because of being lazy, because of being distracted, because of not paying attention, all those things. You want to be a good steward, and time is of the essence. We had a whole, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So 9 months. 9 months? Is that 9 months? That's time. That's birthing time. So, and I know the coronavirus started in 2019, but when we were on shutdown, anyway. So from March to December, that was a whole 9-month period. And the seed was planted in, we'll say, February, March. And then the gifts and the talents that were planted within you had the time to germinate. They had time, because you had time to read, you had time to do research, you had time, oh my goodness, to gain some knowledge. You had time to pray, to get on your face, to fast, to consecrate, to get still, to be quiet, to do everything that was necessary for you to go forth in this new season, in this new time. And you do not want to lose it. You do not want to miss it. You do not want to waste it. You must take this time now to write out your tasks, write out your goals, short term, midterm, long term, whatever it is, and stay the course. Stay focused. Do not waste time. Time is precious, and you cannot get that back unless God redeems the time. But it's up to him as to whether he's going to redeem that time for you. So it would behoove you to not do so. Robert?
As you're talking about redeeming time and correcting things, and being in God's time, and being patient for it to come, but doing the work that it takes to be prepared. You know, I have my daughter here who, as wonderful and amazing as she is, the things that she can do, she has opened my eyes up to the world of social media. And she's going to be starting her own video blogcast at some point in time in the next week or two. And the ideal of her being in camera and on camera all the time is simply something that comes natural to her. And if I don't take out the time to show her how to portray herself on camera, then she will set herself up to potentially not look as intelligent as she is, to not be the greatness that she really is, and people will misjudge and miss out on the talent. The time that you set forward with the proper plans will allow this beauty to become the greatness that it is desired to be. You know, if it is mismanaged, it will become the horror that everybody cast it to be before they get to know it. You know, for those who have seen me or those who know me, I'm a fairly large guy. And there are times where people have said, you know, until you spoke to me, I really thought you would have possibly mugged me. And it's like, me? Really? You know, but now that I know you, I'm happy to know that you're one of the greatest teddy bears in the world. And I need her to understand how to be the young princess that she is, to grow into the queen that she's expected to be. You know, I mean, the reality of it is the time to set things up and to show how it's done is just as important as doing it yourself with the tutelage that those before you have done. There are some trails that still need to be blazed. There's other trails where there's been people before you that you just simply need to recut and reshape so that your model can fit down the same road. There was a point in time where lanes didn't exist on the roadway. It was just a matter of not hitting one another. And now you have, you know, 2, 3, 4 lanes heading in one direction and 2, 3, 4 lanes heading in the opposite direction. And they're only, you know, 7 feet wide. So therefore, your car needs to stay within the lane and go at it from that point. This here is the example of taking time and being prepared, because when she launches her show, which she doesn't even have a title for yet, you know, the one thing that she's discovered is that all of her followers and her likes and whatnot are really cool and amazing, especially when she and I are together. Because when we talk, we're actually pretty funny. And I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world. So time can oftentimes work in reverse, where the youthful will make the old new again. And I appreciate my daughter for doing that. So I agree to encourage her to do it because it's a process. So now that she knows how, once she learns how to effectively have a podcast as a 14-year-old, by the time she turns 15 or 16 and she becomes a senior in high school, she may be going to a university to be a journalist who can cover things such as our amazing country on today, you know, and know how to be safe at doing it. She may become an amazing social justice activist who's writing articles in all the blogs and newspapers and online articles about the rights and wrongs of a city, a state, a country, even abroad. But this is the time that it takes, and whatever time we put into it, again, be it a father, a mother, a sibling, a friend, a cousin, pouring into others and allowing them to pour into you will allow you to grow. And managing the time on how that impacts and affects you will also impact and affect others. So please, don't procrastinate. Don't hesitate. Do the work that it takes to know how to go and be a fisherman or a fisher of men, and not just, you know, going to sit there and say, hey, feed me a fish. Because once you learn how to go catch one guy, you can go and catch them all. And that's the word, is it is up to us to go and save the masses when they're lost. You know, God will put us in place and say, I'm using you to go this direction. Go do it. God is using me not just to be the father, but to be a father to not just her, but her two siblings as well. So the time that it takes in 18 years, it doesn't take a whole 18 years to raise your child. It takes 18 years to train your child. And the training still never stops beyond that. It continues to become more defined. So, in time, wake up and recognize that you don't have all day, every day. What you have is opportunity, and they only come when you work for them.
Amen. Hey, honey, I want to thank you for gracing us with your presence on our first episode of Success in Motion for 2021. And I just want you to wave at the audience. Thank you. And I look forward to watching your video. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank
you for having me.
Absolutely. And I look forward to your vlog and just, you know, being a support to you however I can, okay? So if you ever need anything, just please reach out to Miss Nicole and just let me know whatever it is, however I can help, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So yes, you all, I'm really excited, and this has really been something that we really need to master. And I want to leave us with this for sake of time, because I know it's about 7:54. So what is time? Time is a commodity. It can be exchanged for necessities and desires. Time is money. We normally work or give time to earn it. Time is freedom, depending on how you use it. Time is resolution. It allows things to heal. Time can be lost, depending on how long you take to realize its importance. Time is truly of the essence. Do not waste time. You all, I thank you so much for joining me, Robert, our guest, on another segment of Success in Motion. Robert, I want you to share with our audience about your webcast that you host, so this way they'll be able to join us when you host your show.
So the show is Past, Present, and Possibilities, hosted here on freeconferencecall.com at Coach Gaines 3. That's Coach, G as in George, Alpha, Intrigued, Nancy, Edward, Sam, 3. Coach Gaines 3. Right here on Free Conference Call. Please don't miss the opportunity to be past, present, and possible with the things in your life. Because together with that, we are truly successful in motion. And I thank you, Nicole, for being an amazing host and a wonderful co-host. And I am looking forward to 2021 being as amazing as the seeds that were planted in 2020.
Amen. Well, you're welcome, and I thank you. I thank each and every one of you who took out the time to view the video today. Not the video, but to our audience and those who are taking out the time to watch the recording. That's what I was trying to say as you are watching it. And I truly believe that it will definitely be a blessing to you, whether you've heard it before, whether it was a refresher for you to really realize that you need to get yourself together, because time is very precious, and time is of the essence, and not to waste your time. So our next show will be on Wednesday, January the 20th, because I'm hosting the show every other Wednesday because I have other things that are going on coming down the pipeline on the other Wednesdays that we're not on. Anyway, but I love you, beautiful people. I thank you so much for joining. And until next time, I pray that you have a wonderful week. Enjoy this amazing year. I know we're just getting started, but keep being optimistic and positive because the outcome is surely great. So you all have a blessed night, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.